Hi everyone, Mary at Espresso Press Design. Thank you for joining me today. September 2nd, 2025. Today we're going to be making some DIY washi, DIY transfer tape washi, and if we have time, going to be making probably a little charm like this. Kind of a semi-abstract there, and if not, because it takes a little time to make the washi, I'll just be showing you what I've learned and what I've done. So I have done, let me hold this up for you. I think you're seeing it better than I am actually. So these were all made with transfer tape, and I did buttons. And then put some twine in them, and I did square buttons. Here you can see the shine there. I used transparent tape. Those are semi-abstract. Here's another one, very pretty. I rimmed these ones with gold. And you can get some really cool effects with no chemicals, no painting, except for your metallic marker. There I made a large one. So I'm just going to show you some of the tools I used, or some of the magazines things I selected, how you might store them, and hopefully we'll have time to make one little thing. So here are some samples. And again, I did use the transparent tape. I absolutely love them, but I did run into some issues, so I'm going to go over that. Now, I have a little stack here of some assorted types of things you might use to get some really pretty washi. I got one from Across Those Flowers, something like that, and I do believe I had enough space to get some of that ombre. Food, you would not believe that when it comes out, all you get is color, so it's absolutely gorgeous. Now I began with some letters like this, and I just ran my tape down this way so that I would just get letters like this. So I began, there's another letter one. So you would look for things like this where, you know, you can get letters the whole way down the column, or you can go through the middle just to get shapes and maybe one word. And again, if you just go down like that, it will just be a group of letters. I did get a lot of things just abstract, like that's a carpet, a couch, pillows, By the time it comes out on the tape, you're just going to get color. Things like that. There's another little flower. Just a little group of colors. Some little abstracts. Believe it or not, that's cheese and a tomato. I thought maybe I would try to get some of that watch. This is what I made the charm with. This. There's the back. You can overlay your tape to get some cool effects like plaid, things like that. Go diagonal, whatever. There's some more letters, abstracts, more food, of course patterns. There's a wallpaper with paintings on it. I got some of that. There's another word, and there's another group of floral. So things like that. So let me show you some magazines. Now I have two different kinds. I have glossy. So wallpaper patterns would be cool. This magazine I haven't, My House Beautiful, I haven't quite had the nerve to begin chopping these up yet because I so love them. Maybe something like that where you would just get a range of colors and texture. Chair pattern there, another chair pattern. So things like that. I have another glossy here. Yeah, well, that would have been great. I forgot I had that because I used a playing card, and that's a playing card design. And I wish I would have remembered I had that. I would have put that in my photo. So, things like that. Could get that. If I had enough space, well, maybe in between there, I would get all of those colors. A row of books. All kinds of things you can do with this. If you want to be literal, you would have to find, of course you can use the larger transfer packing tape, which I have done before. I kind of ran into the same problems. If you want to try to get something specific, like maybe those little bottles, you could do that. So I have two kinds of magazines. I have Martha Stewart, which is more matte, and I think I might be seeing if I can find something in here. If not, I'm just going to go what I have in my little stack. But I do think I saw some food in here that might be interesting, like that. All those colors. I'm going to tear that out. So another tip is that what I should do is get these started. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to chop this down a little bit. So I could get, yeah, I could get words and I could get a design off of there. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to chop this up to get what I want. And I'm going to get that in water. Because it takes a little time. And then I'm going to tell you something else I discovered. Probably can get some long strips from there. And I want that color, so let's try to get at least one from there. Okay. We can get some short ones from there. Okay, I'm going to tape. I have two kinds of tape here. I used an entire roll of tape. And if you care about things being straight, be a little bit careful because static electricity, your paper might come up to meet you. I mean, I didn't care that much. And I left a little edge on there. Let me get this piece out of the way. This is one I made earlier. I might try one with invisible tape. I'm pretty sure that invisible tape will give you something that is more matte and looks almost exactly like washi. I'm sure somebody has done this before, but this is something I've been meaning to try for quite some time. So I'm going to put that. You'll need some warm water in a container. I didn't say that. Mine isn't quite so warm anymore, but it'll still work. You'll need a cloth. It's helpful for washing or getting the wet paper off the back of your tape. Now, if you burnish, you will get more of the image. But I found if you don't burnish, you literally just have to peel your tape off and your image will come with it. However, if you burnish, you'll get a better transfer. So it's up to you how much time you want to spend getting that paper off the back of your image or the back of your tape. Okay. Let me try to get one long one here. Now this will be pretty for fall colors, and I did definitely want to show you a food. So let me get one. Let me get one burnished. So I can show you the difference. And then one food. And don't worry if you get a wrinkle, that'll just give you a, so you can take a bone folder and burnish that, and you will get more off of there. It won't be quite so distressed, is what I'm trying to say. So let's just see here in the back if we have any interesting food. And then I'll show you how you might store them. Oh, there's some pasta. But this will work. I tried to choose things that I probably wouldn't use for something else. And food actually works great for this. And I'm not going to need that entire thing, so I'm just going to chop that in half. Food also works great for mamigami. So I kind of use it, but other than those two things, I can't think of what else I might use food for. Unless I was doing like a recipe something. So I'm going to go down there and get a strip just so I can pick up enough color. Try to get one pretty long. And let me also try a transparent tape, or invisible tape is what I mean, not shiny. I mean, I chose shiny because I was finding it a little hard to see my tape when I wanted to cut something apart. Especially when I burnished it. Okay, I'm not going to burnish that. So let me get that in there, and let's see if our first one is ready, which I did not burnish. And everything. Here we go. Did not burnish. Everything comes right off. No fuss, no muss. That is a lot easier. And that is completely off. Nothing is sticking to the back of that tape. And I'm going to bring that up here and show you how much actually did transfer. So there you go. Perfectly readable. But I would, of course, do something abstract with that. So that went fast. I don't think I burnished this one. Can't quite remember. No, I didn't, or it wouldn't be coming off this easily. That's a little more abstract. But still plenty of color. Here you go. Let me make sure you're seeing that. Still plenty of color on there. And then if you did want it to look more like washi, the opposite side is pretty dull. So this is the shiny side, and there's the opposite side. It's actually pretty dull. So you can also keep that in mind. So you're going to want to make sure everything is super dry before you start doing anything with it. And you will probably have enough sticky on there to get it to stick to a piece of wax paper, which I do have here. Just as you're working, you can put it on sheets of wax paper. Maybe a super glossy packaging like this would work, to somewhere to put it while you're working. Of course, this placemat works. What would be ideal is if you had a sticker book with the coated paper, and you could just keep everything in there. So let me see here. I think I might have burnished this one. We're going to find out. No, that's coming off. It's gorgeous. That's gorgeous. Maybe it was this one. I don't know. I was hoping I could show you that, but maybe it's because of this Martha Stewart magazine. It's just super thin, matte, no gloss. Okay, that's coming off too. That really shouldn't be happening, and it never actually happened before. I do have a little stuck on there. So I might have to try a different magazine here. Might be just be the type of magazine. So let me get a glossy. It's Martha. This I know is from GQ. Let me get this. Whoops, I picked up a piece of my tape there. Just going to keep those there to dry. There's my scissors. I think I'll get this. Try to get this. This. I tried to go over my edge a little bit. Let me make sure I'm in. I hope I was in for that. Wasn't paying attention. No, that's not long enough. I want to go off the edge. I used an entire roll of tape yesterday. Then I sent my husband to get me some more, and he went to a different store. And then he bought me a kind that I don't like that much. It's super thin. Okay. Where did my... Okay. I'm pretty sure I did burnish at least one of those. So I'm going to burnish this one really, really well. And then I'll just leave it in there a little longer. Then I did some short ones. Just went across like that. Oh, I meant to bring down a, I have a couple of bird feathers. These will be great for taping feathers in my book. I got a wrinkle there, but I don't care. Just burnish that in, and when that comes out, got a couple of wrinkles actually. I don't think I'm going to need that end. Just going to push that in. And when it comes out, you'll just have a little mark where nothing picked up, like a little distress mark. No biggie. Okay. Get that in. So let me show you what I did to store these, because I was quickly amassing a collection. I just quick made a little book with a wax paper page between each page. And then I just plopped my tape on there. Those two are food. That's a floral. I think that purple is some more food, or maybe a bouquet. There's some abstracts. And okay, I'm glad I have 2 pages left. So I just plopped that together with staples. Something you might consider, because this is so much fun, you're probably going to spend a day. You could also make a little bead, wrap it around your bead. You can also just roll it up. You can also make some gorgeous little beads with this, and it only takes 1 or 2 wraparounds, but you would have to get your bead that you're going to glue it on the same width as your tape. Probably you would want it, but you can make some gorgeous beads. So, okay, where are we? We're at 30. Let's see how this... if this is going to work like I said, and I'm going to have to scrub my image off there. No, this is coming off too. I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm using cold water instead of warm. And And I should have a piece of tape floating in there because one already came off on its own. Now, usually it's not that easy. Usually I would be scrubbing something off of there. Maybe it's the cold water. My water is no longer warm at all. But this is just falling off with the image already there. And I'm not having to do any rubbing at all. Okay, well that's quite a surprise. Because even doing this one earlier this morning, I had to scrub things off there. Boy, that's nice. Get that right side up. That's nice too. Okay, if you don't mind hanging out, I think we might have time to do another charm. Now my cloth is completely wet, and I think I would actually like to use that. So boy, that's cool. Okay, I'm going to use that. And I think I'm going to make this a little smaller. I just have a piece of packaging here, is what I used for that charm. And I'm going to put one on the back and one on the front and go just the width of the tape, I think, because I already have a pretty cool design going on there. So I don't think I have to layer anything. So I'm just going to glue my dull side. Get that on there. Choose another one for the back. Get that all in there, and then I'll cut those down and get them glued together. That's a little wet. You can get some gorgeous stuff, and now the only thing I can honestly think is it was the cold water, because absolutely nothing is different from yesterday. I used both types of magazines. I used this particular tape. Where'd my bone folder go? Oh, that's going to be cool. Okay. I am just going to trim these up. Get them glued together. Back to back. Okay. I should probably put all this in my book, but hopefully it's just going to stay there and not stick to everything. Okay, this is cool. This is like an abstract. I'll trim that again if I have to, which I will have to probably. Oh, and I forgot to say a very important thing. Unless you have a very sharp punch, which I only have one that's brand new, I had a very hard time using my punches. So for those first buttons, I had to go to die cuts. For the second buttons, so I'm just going to glue these together back to back using my bookbinding glue. And then I'll trim that down, add a rivet, eyelet, so I had to use die cuts. And then for the second buttons, these ones, I just said I'm just going to do variation of a square or a rectangle because my crocodile corner punch is strong enough, and I didn't have to worry about wasting things. So here are some of my first ones, and this was the only punch I could get to work, which was my newest punch. So what I'm going to do is go around there with a black marker. See if a Sharpie will work. If not, I'll use my acrylic. Not too bad. I'll probably still have to use some acrylic. So I'm covering that little gap. These are quite cool. No embossing powder, no nothing. But totally glossy finish. Awesome. Love it. Love it. And I think you're going to love it too. And I'm sure this has been done before, because I've seen it. I just never took the time to try it until recently with some larger packing tape, but I did run into the same issues with cutting. It requires a very sharp something, die cuts, punch. Okay, let me get these out here. I think you could have a very fun day. doing all of these. Where's my other charm? There. Love those charms. Layer those up with something. Okay, there we go. This one is a little longer. I'll try to find where I can speed things up, but it's a project well worth it for all that gorgeous embellishments. Okay everyone, thank you so much for your time. Special thanks to everyone who likes, subscribes, shares, comments, and another very special thank you to all my customers. You have a great day and a great week. I'll see you next time. Bye.